And welcome back to Life Hacks for Lasting Love. I'm Steve. This is my darling wife, Lyn. Today's topic is, because it's Valentine's coming up, we'd like to talk about the first time you met as a couple. This is the foundation stone of relationships. It's something that's relevant. It's one of the reasons why you stay together. It's one of the reasons you should fight together, is because that first meeting was so important. I met Lyn. Don't ask me what year, you don't need to know. It was a long, long time ago. Okay, don't tell them. I drove down from Queensland to see my grandparents in Melbourne. And as they were leaving from Tullamarine Airport, Lyn was there with her mother. Surprisingly, her grandmother and my grandmother were best friends in a different country. And we met, we didn't know any of this. So we met at Tullamarine Airport. We went out on our first date about a week later, 4 days later, something like that. After the date, I went back to the house I was staying at with my friends. They said, "How'd the date go?" I said, "Really well. She loves me. She doesn't know it yet. I'm going to marry that one."
Took me a little bit longer than that. But I knew he was interested. And it's interesting how just serendipitous our meeting was. I actually hadn't planned to be at the airport. My mum had actually asked me to go. I'd met his grandparents years ago when we'd gone over to New Zealand on holidays. And the nurses, I was nursing back then, and I was a student nurse, and then the nursing was on strike, union, and I didn't actually understand any of that at that stage. I was very young. I was 19 at the time.
Beautifully naive.
And we went to the airport, and there we were. And Steve hadn't planned to be there, but his father's car had broken down, so he had to drive his grandparents to the airport. And we just started talking, and really interestingly, Steve's grandfather actually said to my grandmother at that time, "Oh, you've lost her now." And we all looked at really strange, because the grandfather had heard Steve ask me out on a date. He was very assertive and was going to just say, "Hey, let's catch up." And 6 weeks later, after we got engaged, and yes, it was only 6 weeks later, Steve chased hard for those 6 weeks. When we rang his grandfather said, "What took you so long?" So it was love at first sight for Steve. For me, I just took a little bit more convincing.
No, she didn't. She let me chase her till she caught me. It's true, it's what happened. So this week is Valentine's Day, so there must be some relevance in this. I mean, for a lot of you guys there, you think, "Oh yeah, Americanistic bull," which is fair and reasonable, but guess what? It's not all about us, guys. It's about a little bit of expectation, a little bit of give for the girls. Not going to cost you a lot, a little bit, probably more effort than money, and the effort's worth putting in. The relationship needs the effort.
And I suppose we talked about love languages in our last episode. And really, it's just an opportunity to celebrate love and stop and reconnect and think, why are we together? What is it that makes us a couple? And, what was it out of all the people that you'd met prior to committing to somebody that why you chose the other person? Like, what was it that I chose about Steve? He was assertive, he was strong, he was determined, he was fun. We could talk about anything. And he was adventurous. He was prepared to do anything.
Yeah. Homeschooled personality, socially inept.
Oh, it was not. But we just felt like we connected, and I could tell him anything.
Yeah, and we put a lot of work into our relationship. This is 34 years ago or something. So, we've worked hard. We've been through some dry gullies. We really have had some hard times. Not only arguments with each other, but lots of arguments with each other. The big one being finance, of course. Finance is always tough. Money just seems to be the ruin of good things. Why couldn't we just be born with a nice, comfortable lifestyle? Wouldn't it be just easier? But we aren't. So we all have to earn, which means we've got to spend a lot of time away from home. Time without the children, time without each other,
Set budgets,
stick to them, try to save, try to scrimp, try to pay the mortgage, pay the rent, pay whatever. Yeah.
So, and look, that's just one of the ones, and we'll talk about that in a different episode. Because there's also, as we know, there's just having toddlers can put a lot of stress on relationships because it's the really, really busy time. And we'll chat about those. But you know what? It's nice just to remember on Valentine's Day and your anniversaries more than anything. The anniversary when you first met, your anniversary when you got married, or when you chose to be together. Really important to
Anniversary of the first date, and the anniversary of the first fight, and the anniversary of the first makeout. Yeah, women do this.
So guys, put them in your calendar, put them in your phone. No, I just expect that. Well, I don't expect when we first met, but I always celebrate it and mention it. But definitely our wedding anniversary, and it's just nice to also remember, why love is so important, because it does really help you. It helps longevity. Couples that are in a long-term relationship that's loving, they actually live longer and they're actually happier according to all the statistics. So it's a really important thing. So when people come for relationship counselling, I start off quite strangely, and I'll actually say to them, my job is that you'll both leave equally unhappy with with me, because I'm going to get you to point out. Oh, I've just lost that. I'm going to point out things that you're both doing to sabotage your relationship, but I'm also going to point out all the things that you're doing well and remind each other of why you chose each other. So this week, that's your challenge, actually. Guys and girls, tell each other why, out of all the people, you chose to do life with that other person. Now, I'm going to put Steve on the spot because I mentioned to you what I saw in him. And this is what I do with couples when I do relationship counselling. I'll just say, hey, what was it about the other person that you chose to want to do life with? So, Steve, there you go. This is what I do in relationship counselling, but it's good to hear. And I didn't mention him on this one.
Throw me in the deep end. This could go very badly. Definitely love at first sight. She was intelligent. She still is intelligent. Articulate, beautiful,
Thanks.
Big smile, friendly, not judgmental, easy to talk to, rock and bod. I'm embarrassed by camera person.
So it's really lovely. So I'm there thinking he's done really well, and this is what, as couples, you guys need to do, is tell each other what it was that really attracted you to each other, and why you then wanted to do life, and why those fights that you have, why it is that you fight, because you want to be together and you love each other.
We became friends really early on, long before we were more than friends, and we just got on well. It was wonderful. We still get on well. It's like marrying your best friend. There's the classic line for it, and that's what happened. We just became great friends long before we were more than that, long before we were married. Friendship's cool.
It is, and because you want the friendship to be able to just talk about anything, but more than anything to be able to dream together and things like that as well. So everybody, happy Valentine's Day. Please do talk to each other. Tell each other what it was of why you chose your partner.
I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I imagine we'll be back in a week.
You are.
If the camera person and publisher says that that's okay and wind it up, all right. See you later, guys.
Bye.